You lose 1 hour of sleep, and your risk of a heart attack jumps by 24%. This isn't just a coincidence. It is a biological warning. Tonight, while you drift off, your brain will literally wash itself of toxins. If you interrupt that process, you are deciding how you will die. To understand why sleep is so lethal, we have to talk about biological pressure. From the moment you wake up, a chemical called adenosine begins to build up in your brain. Think of it like a weight on a scale. The longer you stay awake, the heavier that weight becomes, pushing your brain toward the necessity of sleep. This is your sleep drive. When you finally close your eyes, your body begins to clear this chemical, resetting the scale for the next day. But if you cheat that reset, that adenosine doesn't just vanish, it stays, creating a cognitive debt that your heart and brain have to pay. Every hour of wakefulness beyond 16 hours is like adding a brick to a structure that wasn't designed to carry the load. Eventually, the structure collapses. This is why you feel that crushing weight in your chest after a red-eye flight. It's not just exhaustion, it's a system at its breaking point. We are the only species that deliberately deprives itself of sleep, and we are paying the price in years.
You lose 1 hour of sleep, and your risk of a heart attack jumps by 24%. This isn't just a coincidence, it is a biological warning. Tonight, while you drift off, your brain will literally wash itself of toxins. If you interrupt that process, you are deciding how you will die. Recent research has uncovered a hidden cleaning service in your brain called the glymphatic system. During deep sleep, the space between your brain cells actually expands by up to 60%. This allows cerebrospinal fluid to rush in and wash away metabolic waste, specifically a protein called beta-amyloid. Beta-amyloid is the primary component of the plaques found in Alzheimer's disease. Think of your brain like a busy city. During the day, trash builds up on every corner. If the sanitation crews never show up because you're staying awake, that trash doesn't just sit there, it begins to rot the infrastructure. One night of modest sleep deprivation significantly increases the concentration of beta-amyloid in the human brain. We are seeing a direct link between chronic short sleep and the onset of dementia. You aren't just missing out on rest, you are allowing your brain to accumulate the very proteins that will eventually steal your memories and your personality. The dishwasher only runs when you are fully offline. But the brain isn't the only system under siege. Let's look at the damage sleep loss does to your heart. There is a global experiment performed on 1.6 billion people twice a year. It's called daylight savings time. In the spring, when we lose just one single hour of sleep, we see a subsequent 24% increase in heart attacks the following day. Conversely, in the autumn, when we gain an hour of sleep, we see a 21% reduction in heart attacks. This isn't about the clock, it's about the physiological fragility of the human heart when deprived of its nightly repair cycle. Without enough sleep, your sympathetic nervous system is stuck in the on position. Your heart rate remains elevated even while you're resting. Your blood pressure rises and your arteries begin to stiffen. You are essentially redlining your engine for 24 hours a day. Over years, this creates microscopic tears in your blood vessels, leading to the plaques that cause strokes and heart failure. 1 hour is all it takes to tip the balance between survival and catastrophe. Sleep is also your most powerful immune defense. Inside your body is a specialized type of white blood cell called a natural killer cell. These are the elite assassins of your immune system. They identify and destroy dangerous foreign elements, including budding cancer cells. If I take you and restrict your sleep to just 4 hours for one single night, we see a 70% drop in natural killer cell activity. That is a state of massive immune deficiency. This is why short sleep duration is a strong predictor for the development of numerous forms of cancer, including bowel, prostate, and breast cancer. In fact, the link is so powerful that the World Health Organization has classified any form of nighttime shift work as a probable carcinogen. When you skip sleep, you aren't just letting your guard down.
You are actively disarming the very cells that keep you alive. You are effectively inviting the disease in and giving it a head start. Most of us believe we're compensating for this loss with caffeine, but caffeine is an illusionist. It doesn't actually give you energy. It simply blocks the sleepiness signal from reaching your brain. It parks itself in the adenosine receptors, like a car in a reserved space, preventing the adenosine from docking. But while you're feeling alert, that adenosine pressure continues to build up behind the dam. When the caffeine finally wears off, usually in the late afternoon, the dam breaks and you experience a massive crash. The real danger, however, is the half-life. Caffeine has a half-life of about 6 hours. That means if you have a cup of coffee at 4 p.m., half of that caffeine is still circulating in your brain at 10 p.m. It's the equivalent of drinking half a cup of coffee right before you try to go to bed. You might fall asleep, but your brain won't enter the deep restorative stages it needs to wash those toxins away. You are effectively sleeping with one eye open, and your heart is paying the interest on that loan.
Then there is the blue light trap. Our brains are hardwired to associate blue light with the morning sun. When your retinas are hit by the shortwave blue light from your smartphone at 11 p.m., you are essentially screaming, "Wake up!" at your master biological clock, the suprachiasmatic nucleus. This light suppresses the release of melatonin, the hormone that tells your brain it's time to sleep. Using an iPad for 2 hours before bed can delay your melatonin peak by up to 3 hours. It's like jet lagging yourself without ever leaving your bedroom. Even if you use a blue light filter, the psychological engagement, the scrolling, the notifications, the dopamine hits, keeps your brain in a state of high alert arousal. You are tricking your biology into staying in a daytime mode long after the sun has gone down, and your body's repair systems are left waiting at the starting line, unable to begin the critical maintenance that keeps your heart from failing and your brain from rotting. So how do we fix this? How do we reclaim the years sleep is trying to steal? The first pillar of sleep reclamation is temperature. To fall asleep, your core body temperature must drop by about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit. This is why it's always easier to fall asleep in a room that's too cold than one that's too hot. You can hack this process. A hot bath or shower right before bed actually helps you sleep, not because it warms you up, but because it pulls the blood to the surface of your skin, allowing your core to dump heat more efficiently. It's a biological radiator. Your brain also needs the signal of a cooling environment to initiate the release of melatonin. Set your thermostat to 65 degrees Fahrenheit, or 18 Celsius. It sounds extreme, but it aligns with the natural drop in temperature our ancestors experienced as the sun set. By cooling your body, you are manually triggering the off switch in your nervous system. You are inviting your heart rate to slow down and your repair crews to finally get to work. The second pillar is light anchoring. Your biological clock is essentially a solar-powered computer. To ensure a deep sleep at night, you must view natural sunlight as early as possible after waking. Even on a cloudy day, the lux, the measurement of light intensity, is orders of magnitude higher outside than inside your house. This morning light sets your circadian rhythm, triggering the release of cortisol to wake you up, and more importantly, setting a timer for the release of melatonin 14 hours later. If you stay inside until noon, your brain never gets the start signal, and your sleep drive will be weak and fragmented. Aim for 10 to 15 minutes of direct outdoor light in the morning. This is the single most effective way to anchor your physiology to the natural day-night cycle. You are telling your body exactly where it is in time, allowing your heart to prepare for rest hours before your head ever hits the pillow. Finally, we have to understand the 90-minute rule. We don't sleep in one big block. We sleep in cycles of roughly 90 minutes. In each cycle, your brain moves from light sleep to deep sleep to REM sleep. If you wake up during a deep sleep phase, you will experience sleep inertia, that groggy, confused feeling that can last for hours. It's better to sleep for 6 hours, 4 full cycles, and wake up feeling alert than to sleep for 7 hours and wake up in the middle of a deep repair phase. To optimize this, work backward from your desired wake-up time in 90-minute increments. This ensures you are surfacing from sleep during the lightest phase, when your body is already preparing to wake up.
This protects your heart from the sudden spike in cortisol and blood pressure that occurs when an alarm jolts you out of the deep abyss. Sleep is a series of waves. You just need to learn how to time the surf.
If you want to live longer, your bedroom must become a sanctuary. Here are 5 non-negotiable rules for tonight. 1. Total darkness. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask to block even the tiniest light. 2. Silence. Use white noise to drown out sudden sounds that trigger your heart rate. 3. No devices 60 minutes before bed. Let your melatonin rise naturally. 4. Consistency. Go to bed and wake up at the same time, even on weekends. Your biological clock craves a schedule. And 5. If you can't sleep, get out of bed. Your brain shouldn't associate your bed with wakefulness and anxiety. Go to another room, read in dim light, and only return when your sleep drive is overwhelming. You are training your nervous system for peace. Many people wear their ability to function on 6 hours of sleep as a badge of honor, but science tells a different story. If you sleep for 6 hours a night for 10 days, your cognitive impairment is identical to that of a person who is legally drunk. You might feel fine, but that's only because you've lost the ability to judge your own performance. Your reaction time slows, your decision-making becomes impulsive, and your emotional regulation collapses. Compare this to someone getting a full 8 hours. Their memory consolidation is 40% more efficient. Their heart rate variability, a key indicator of cardiovascular health, is significantly higher. The difference between 6 and 8 hours isn't just a bit of tiredness. It is the difference between an aging, struggling brain and one that is thriving and resilient. You are either investing in your future health or you are liquidating it for a few extra hours of wakefulness. In 1959, a DJ named Peter Tripp decided to stay awake for 201 hours to raise money for charity. He was under constant medical supervision, and the results were terrifying. By the 4th day, he was having hallucinations. He saw spiders in his shoes and flames coming out of drawers. His personality completely changed. He became paranoid and aggressive, screaming at the very doctors trying to save him. Even after he finally slept for 13 hours, he was never the same. He eventually lost his job, his marriage, and his sanity. This is the extreme end of the spectrum, but it reveals the fundamental truth. Without sleep, the human mind doesn't just get tired, it shatters. Sleep is the biological glue that holds your cognitive and emotional reality together. When you pull at the threads, the entire tapestry begins to unravel. Peter Tripp's story is a warning that our biology has a hard limit, and there is no heroic prize for crossing it. Tonight, you have a choice. You can continue to trade your years for minutes, or you can finally sign the contract with your biology. Your heart is waiting. Your brain is ready to be washed. All you have to do is let go. If you found this helpful, subscribe for more logic behind your health. I'm Joseph, and this is Health Logic.